Welcome to the Immigrant Take with Jess and Jem, your weekly rendition of being an immigrant here in Van City, looking at different perspectives of what it means to be a part of this beautiful community. Hello, and welcome to the Immigrant Take with Jess and Jem, your weekly rendition of an immigrant perspective from Van City. What's up, Jess?
Oh my goodness, nothing. I'm so happy that today's Wednesday. Happy Wednesday.
Happy hump day. I'm always glad for Wednesday.
Yes. Any plans for the long weekend? I mean, like BC Day?
Yes, BC Day's coming up, and we're going to have a gigantic family and friend picnic on Sunday. So I'm super stoked, super excited. Food, the beach, the works. It's been so long since I've seen so many faces, so it's going to be really nice to be outdoors with friendly faces that I haven't seen in a while.
Oh, yes, I bet. I can't wait either, man. There's going to be so much food. I'm all for it.
Food, fun, who isn't? I can't wait. It's a great opportunity because I've invited so many different friends that I haven't seen for other people to just connect and network like we're talking about today.
Mm-hmm. All right. So what's your best advice that you have for navigating the challenges of networking? We're just jumping right into it today.
Well, honestly, it's just to get out there. You know, so many people are so timid or afraid of what will people say? What will people think? How do I start? But honestly, just getting out of your head and getting out there and just saying, here I am. Hi, how you doing? You know, being able to just get out there.
Right. And would you say that that's the same thing with meeting friends and in the working world, professional relationships?
It's similar. I know, if I'm going to a networking event, I know it's been so long since I've been to one. I think the last one I went to was when Google was hosting something downtown at the art museum. And it was so much fun to just get out there and meet interesting people who are all about looking how to maximize utilizing Google for making money, you know? Mm-hmm. But just getting out there, you still have to be friendly. You still have to be approachable. You still have to be ready to be a little bit vulnerable when people ask questions like, so what do you do? How long have you been doing it? Right?
Yeah.
Things like that. So you still have to kind of shake yourself out of your comfort zone and be ready to speak on that in that time. So I think a lot of it has to do with a lot of mental preparation. So prepare your mind for people asking questions, prepare your mind for people wanting to know you. You know, sometimes you're so reserved about what do you want people to know or how do you want people to see you? I think if you're out to network, out to promote yourself, out to make new connections to push yourself forward or help others move forward, you have to be mentally prepared to be here I am and I'm ready.
That's right.
So how about you, Jess? What would you say is your best advice as we're getting out and ready to network again?
For the, like you said, just to echo what you said, really just getting out of your comfort zone and meeting people, chatting people. I love going out and just watching people sometimes because you just never know who you're going to meet or run into. And just striking up that conversation. I think you touched on it episode 1 or 2 when you mentioned something about going to the playground and then striking up conversations with other parents or other caregivers or whatnot, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's huge. And then in terms of the professional world, I would say I'm out in Surrey, so maybe joining professional boards, the Surrey Board of Trades. I mean, that's a great place to meet so many professionals, and don't just go to one event, go to so many events that they get to know who you are. That way, they when you connect with them, they're oh, I know who you are, or they might not know you by name, but they might recognize you by face. And before you know it, you're sitting down at a table, you strike a conversation and just introduce yourself, right? And just chat about you, and you don't have to sell yourself, but just chat and just say, hey, I'm new to the board and all of that, and just get to know what events going on, who's doing what. And then maybe after the third, fourth time, then you can kind of say, hey, you know what, this is what I'm doing, or this is what I'm into. You might even walk away with a job proposal or something, mm-hmm. right? So yeah, those are some advice. If you're not in Surrey, I'm sure there's the Vancouver Board of Trade. There's so many other places. So just do your research and find out what's happening. A lot of events are opening up again. So I mean, just do the research and find out what's out there. Okay, so Jem, like honestly, what are some like ideas that people can kind of like look into when they want to network or maybe attend an interesting event or yeah.
So for sure, like we've discussed previously, making eye contact and smiling, being friendly and outgoing, and not being afraid to start the conversation. Like the people you're going out to probably feel the same way you do, a little bit timid, a little bit shy, a little bit like, is this where I'm supposed to do this? So like, don't be afraid to be the conversation starter. Be the one who breaks the ice and says, "Hi, my name is." Smile, be friendly, and see where the conversation goes. Right? Introduce yourself with a handshake. Well, I don't know, COVID rules, maybe fist bump, elbow bump. That's what we're doing these days. And like, just pay attention to the person's name. Don't be so interested into getting to like, oh, this is what I do, but like really engage in authentic conversation. Hi, my name is this. Like one thing I appreciate, I have an older brother. His name is Silas. He's been working in the nonprofit world for over 15 years now, I think. But anytime he takes me somewhere and he's like encouraging me to network, he says, tell them who you are and where you're from. But if you hear where his introduction, I'm Silas, it's like he's introducing our lineage, everything about him, all the way to our ancestors. But like, it really creates a space for authentic conversation. I've seen people like literally stop, take time to listen, and then really dive into who they are and where they're from, and like create the space for them to really create that bond for them to move forward together in the same interest. So don't rush to like, oh, this is what I really want to talk about. No, get to know that person. Pay attention to their name, the company that they work for, if they have a title, and then just be ready to share yourself. Like if you have a Twitter account, if you have Instagram, which most of us already do, just be ready. If you have your like professional one, you've gone to network, you've gone to meet people, you've gone to discuss like what you want the world to see or to move forward with. So be ready to share that information. And as you're meeting and greeting people, make a list of all the people you know and their contact information. And I think I've mentioned you should ask questions about the other person, right? It's not a, hey, how are you doing? And then tell me all about yourself. Have that back and forth conversation as you're talking to someone. And don't be shy. Like, people want to know you. I don't ask questions I don't want to know. If I'm asking you, it's because I want to know. So be willing to share that information. Am I making sense, Jess? Am I hitting it?
Oh my goodness, yes. You actually touched on like a lot of the good points here. I'm just probably just gonna think of like things that I just remember after I graduated. I was told to just carry or create my own like business cards, right? And even if you don't even have a title, just have a business card with your name, your phone number, and maybe like your email that you can just hand out to people. And don't forget to also collect their business cards. Not everybody you're gonna meet has an IG or social handling that you can collect. So just be prepared to actually take some of that information back with you and, find out like who's in charge of like the networking event, right? And contact them. Like this is a great way to like just introduce yourself and maybe just inquire about how you could probably be part of that event or be part of another event coming up. So yeah, another thing too, you want to, like don't be scared to like ask some friends. So just, hey, let's go out for lunch. They bring some people, you bring some people, and like just network, like just what you're doing this long weekend. You're having a barbecue or whatnot, having friends and family, a whole bunch of people from so many different industry, right? You're giving them that opportunity to network, to be out there, meet people, and really get to know what other people are doing. These are people that maybe they may never meet each other again. So these are like real great ways to just really start networking and meeting people. Yeah. And really just feel comfortable, be yourself and get out there and just socialize and just get out there. Yeah.
Get out there. The key today is get out there. As we're like reopening, all these benefits, the government's going to end soon. So you really do got to get out there. And you've had this time in COVID where you've thought about like this great business idea or this new subject or studying that you might want to try, or how to just volunteer more. I've been on a lot of like groups lately, and more people are like, how do I get in touch with my community volunteering aspect, like cleaning up. We're going to clean up our little walkway here. There's a promenade that the city built, but like we want to clean it up and keep it fresh for people to come in. Like even just doing that, just meeting your neighbors, you never know which neighbor is going to be able to assist you in moving forward. So getting out there is the key to networking. What do you think, Jess? Are some ways immigrants feel more comfortable in social life after a period of isolation? Like, we have been through this COVID. Now we're telling them to get out there. What are some things that might make them feel more comfortable?
Again, I think you touched on it, which is really just join a lot of clubs, groups. I know there was a lot of organizations had these like outside community groups that you can join, but then just doing the research and finding out what group might be of interest to you and maybe contacting them and saying, hey, what's going to be happening in this class, right? Because you have to remember, people are coming out of this isolation. There's been some people that literally have been home and following all the protocols since COVID started. So that isolation, that anxiety, depression, all those issues dealing or circulating around mental health, which is on an incredible high, is around. So people are going to be shy. They're going to be feeling some sort of like awkwardness going to these things. So just finding out like, okay, you know what, maybe there's a work BC center around me or a community resource center around me, a library around me. Let me just call them if maybe I'm too scared to walk in and just see, hey, is there an event that's catered towards things that I like? Another thing too is just finding an online like community or forum or platform that you can be a part of. I mean, that's been so resourceful. I know a lot of people use Reddit. Some people use, there's another one. We'll probably add it in on our social handlings, but there's just so many of these communities out there that they're just bleeding for people. They just want people to join in. So just, again, being proactive and searching for those things, and maybe ask friends that are like that immigrated into this country, and the challenges that they went through. What are some resources that they use to help them be out there, and perhaps go with them and see if it's something that you might end up liking or not.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel that's totally true. Like when we first came, I asked a lot of people on like how to do this or how to do that or how to connect here, especially when I moved from Ontario to Vancouver. It's such a different culture shock as well. Like, even though we're still in the same Canada, life is so different. So like being able to like speak to others who are going through the same thing as well, who newly arrived to Vancouver, was an absolute help. If you feel like, I know sometimes it happens to me all the time actually at my job. When I was on my job, a lot of my Spanish speaking coworkers or colleagues would come and be like, oh, I don't feel comfortable because like, say we had a presentation or something like that, because like they feel like they don't speak English properly. And I know that that could be a setback for some, especially when you're trying to network. But honestly, if you are in a place and you're presentable, you're friendly, you're kind, most people aren't thinking, oh man, I'm not going to talk to that person because they don't speak correct English. So many places, even like in my church settings in the past, like I've been the only English speaker at one point. But as long as you're willing to communicate, like, don't worry about how you're speaking and be yourself, be free. If you make a misstep or you mispronounce a word or use the wrong word, most people are just going to laugh it off and probably help you correct with the right word, or they'll say things, oh, you mean like, like most people are out there to also meet people and build a network or a group of people that they can do something with. So don't let how you speak English or how often you speak English be your setback for not getting out there or being afraid to be yourself. So just be confident when you're talking. Language barriers will always be there. My mom has been in Canada for 20, 30, almost 30 years, and she will be the first one to tell you, I am ESL, accept my accent, and sometimes I'm going to use the wrong word. And she speaks on large platforms as a pastor. She's a motivational speaker. And one UBC teacher I had is like, you need the subject that I'm teaching you. So if I say something wrong that you don't understand, ask me after class. You got to just have that mentality that your language or your accent or whatever it is not going to be the barrier to what you're wanting to become or who you're wanting to connect with. Just have that confidence is that you have value to share to the community that you're trying to network with, and they need that value. So don't let your language barrier, accent barrier be your barrier to being the great person you want to be. I know that's really hard for some people, but once you get over that thing, trust me, the rest of us, we need you. We want you. We're waiting for you to come and speak to us and let us know that thing that you have of value to share with us.